Hey everybody, welcome again to another episode of Disability Landscape. I'm your host, Charlie Brose. With me this week again, Mr. Paul Pranghofer. Paul, anything new happening in your neighborhood?
Nope, not a whole lot, other than I'm just getting old.
Yeah, I understand you have a pretty big birthday coming up, so
Yep.
we're all looking forward to celebrating. Let's jump right into it and introduce our guests today. We have with us Mr. Terry Hanson, who you've met before, and Mr. Mike Hanson, no relation. And they're going to talk to us today about a group they belong to called Capable Partners, what is the main scope of Capable Partners? Either one of you.
If you're asking about the mission, it's
Yeah.
basically to encourage growth opportunities by getting physically challenged individuals out into the outdoors. We do that mainly through hunting and fishing. We also have an ATV ride and some opportunities to camp and a pontoon available on Lake Mille Lacs,
Very nice.
as well as a boat up on by Lac Leparo.
Oh, okay, way up there.
Yep.
We have a couple of ice houses for ice fishing.
Okay. Now, the ice houses, they're the newer trailer types right now.
Yes,
That
yep.
you can just pull out on the lake and open a hole and you're ready to go.
Drop the ramp and wheel in there and start going, yep.
Now, on the ice fishing excursions, do you guys, I know those are, they're like rolling campers basically.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys stay overnight in them, or is there usually just day trips?
You can, I haven't, I've been on a couple of times and have not stayed overnight.
Okay.
They're equipped that you could, there's some bunks in there and you could stay.
Okay.
Ice castles is the make of them.
Sure.
And they're actually quite luxurious. So they're nice and warm, and that's the main thing, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Go ahead, Paul.
What lakes do you do the ice fishing on, and does that vary?
It varies. We've had a house on Medicine Lake for some time. That's a permanent house. We've been on Buffalo Lake and then out to Lake Leparo.
Okay.
We've had a big, they call it the extravaganza. Now I'm drawing a blank. Who sponsors that, Mike?
Clam.
Clam.
Okay.
Which they make portable fish houses and a lot of ice fishing tackle and general rods and so forth.
Yeah. And they and that is quite a deal. I think we had 40 or 50 fishermen out there last trip. And
Makes for a nice day.
yes, yep. And there were big houses set up. You could park your car in the house I was in. There were 4 of us fishing in there, and we had all kinds of room
Wow.
in that. But it's pretty nice.
So they're ice mansions now.
Really, yes.
Yes.
Yep. But we do, I don't do any hunting, so
Right.
well, Mike will have to tell you about that. But we do about 11 fishing outings. Prior Lake, Lake Pulaski, Minnetonka, Mille Lacs, Lanesboro. We do
Okay.
trout fishing down in Lanesboro.
Okay.
And 3 launches out on Mille Lacs.
Okay. And for these, or many of these, I presume you take like a pontoon out to.
On Mille Lacs, it's the big launches.
Okay.
I think they're 52 by 14, something
Wow.
like that. So they're big. And when we go to like Prior Lake, the Prior Lake Sportsman's Club sponsors that, so they get pontoons from people on the lake
Oh,
Oh.
nice.
and then get us out.
Okay.
So
And Mike, the hunting seasons are coming up.
Yes.
So, is there particular places you guys go, or
Oh, yes.
you just pick different places?
Oh, no. We have our hunts are usually at set places.
Okay.
We have a great waterfowl opportunity through the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service down in the Minnesota River Valley, basically.
Okay.
We have deer hunts that we sponsor in cooperation with the DNR at the Vermilion Highlands,
Okay.
in the Carlos Avery Wildlife Management Area, Lac Leparo.
Okay.
We also have a deer hunt through Sherburne, and we're going to get one started this year in the St. Louis Swamp.
Oh.
And we're really, it's down part of the Minnesota River Valley. That's through a national wildlife refuge,
Okay.
as is Sherburne. And we're really looking forward to starting that new deer hunt this year.
And what is the game that you usually go out for?
Are you talking me or Capable Partners in general?
Well, you personally, and then what,
I personally enjoy deer, waterfowl. I go after pheasants sometimes. Capable Partners does deer, waterfowl, pheasant, turkey.
Okay.
Both a turkey event sponsored at a game farm up by LeBlanc's.
Okay.
And we have several places where we actually hunt wild turkey. In addition to the deer hunts I mentioned earlier, by the way, we have some archery deer hunting opportunities.
Okay. You have a question, Paul? Go
Yeah,
for it.
so I'm a little bit aware about hunting, although I don't hunt myself. I know the archery or the bow and arrow season has already started, hasn't it? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And how long does that season go?
Oh, that goes at least through December and may go into January. I don't hunt archery personally,
yeah.
so I'm not the right
Now-
person to ask.
For you personally, being visually impaired, is there somebody that helps you sight the deer then? And,
Absolutely.
okay. You're not just, pulling
no.
up the gun and duck, I'm shooting.
Well, I can do that too if you want to make things exciting.
Yeah, well, there is
though,
that.
well, no, seriously, there is someone with me, and their first responsibility, as far as I'm concerned, is if they tell me to fire, it's a safe shot.
Okay.
Second, I try to hit something, and thanks to God, my hunting partner, the last 3 or 4 years, I've done very well.
Well, that's helpful. This is open for both, but the people involved, the people that come with the disabilities, they are wide-ranging, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, because, my question is, how do you get the wheelchair into the deer stand?
Well, you have a ramp up to the deer stand, and you just roll right up into there.
There's actually the accessible deer stands out there.
Oh, yes. They're,
Oh, that's very cool.
they're kind of like a small fish house, except they have windows cut into them
Oh, okay.
that you can open to aim a gun or a bow through,
Okay.
and you can sit in relative comfort, keep the rain out, keep some of the wind out, and so
What?
forth.
That's encouraging. So, go ahead, Paul.
Yeah. So in your organization, I know you both must sound like you participate in it. Like in the hunts, is it a one-on-one then, so that for each hunter with a disability, there's a able-bodied hunter also?
That is the intent.
Okay.
There are times when we may allow the AB to leave a blind temporarily or something, but usually it's one-on-one. There's an AB and a physically challenged individual hunting.
Okay.
And how about with the fishing? How does that work?
Fishing is pretty much the same situation. I don't know that there's 1-to-1 on that. We might have 1 or 2 able-bodied in a boat with 3 or 4. Now, if we do the launches, we've had as many as 26 people on there, and half of those are disabled, and then half. And it's 53 feet long. We need somebody that can run back and forth from one end to the other. And we usually do a nice barbecue with brats and burgers and potato salad and all that stuff. So
Because they didn't catch anything during the fish.
we can't have the fish till after we get off the lake.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay. Now, all the people that are assisting the disabled hunters and fishers, they're all volunteer then?
yes,
That's correct.
yep.
Okay. Is there like a lead office for Capable Partners, or, how is it operated?
It is usually operated out of the homes of various volunteers.
Okay.
We do board meetings once a month via Zoom.
Okay.
We do have a post office box in Golden Valley. We have a website,
Ah,
www.capablepartners.org, and we can also be found on Facebook.
awesome.
Each event has a coordinator, and they usually work from their home. I've done a couple of different ones, Prior Lake and now Lake Mille Lacs.
Okay.
And we just get, the schedule goes out, and our name and numbers on there, and people can call and sign up
Okay.
to go. And
And on an average trip, how many people do you get?
I think on the launches, we've been around 15 or 17, something
Okay.
like that. We take 3 pontoons on when we go on Minnetonka,
Okay.
and we have to kind of balance out on that one. If we get the power chairs on there, we don't want to put 2 or 3 power chairs on one pontoon.
Right.
So we have to balance those out. And last August, we had 13.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. So when you're out fishing,
Mm-hmm.
what do you focus? I'm assuming on Mille Lacs you're trying to get walleyes.
Yes,
How
yeah.
about when Minnetonka and Prior Lake and those?
Panfish for that. And we also have a specific muskie hunt, or muskie fishing trip on, and it is a lot of hunting for that, but that's on Minnetonka.
So has anybody ever gotten a muskie on one of those
Oh,
trips?
yes, yep.
Cool.
I think the coordinator, last count, had done it for 26 years and has yet to catch a fish.
Yeah.
He may have gotten one last year, but that was his big deal. You know, I've been doing this for 26 years and I haven't caught a muskie yet, but I'll be here next year. So,
He can't complain too much. He won a custom-made fishing rod at one picnic.
yeah,
Ah,
yep,
good.
yeah.
Well, I have heard it said, for every muskie you catch, you probably have 10,000 casts.
Yeah, yeah.
At least.
Yes.
My arms aren't strong enough for that. I haven't, I tried it a couple of times and it was just way too much work. And I was catching fish the size of the lures that they were throwing and
Okay.
happy about that, but
Yeah.
that, it just was a little bit more for me than that.
And muskies are fighters.
They are a lot of fun to catch.
Yeah.
So it was a good walleye.
Yeah.
And every once in a while we'll get a smallmouth bass on Mille Lacs too. And that's a good battle. They're a lot of
Okay.
fun.
We also have some very special trips. One we just started up around Ely this year that I think went pretty well, correct?
I don't know, I haven't heard anything about that one.
Okay.
Now,
that
this was a fishing trip or hunting trip?
fishing.
Fishing.
Okay.
We did,
And
go ahead,
go
Mike.
ahead.
Okay. We did have one up on Rainy Lake.
Yes.
That it was a drawing.
Yep.
We have a big banquet the first Saturday of March. And silent auction and everything, a big deal there. And have had a couple of different trips. Lake Michigan for salmon. We've done that.
Wow.
Then up to Rainy Lake for walleyes and stuff. And those turned out really good. You get private or professional guides, and they're fancy boats with everything on there. And they put you can see in the whites of their eyes on the fish. They've got graphics on there that are incredible.
Wow.
But
Wow.
it's really a lot of fun.
Now, you mentioned having a banquet once a year. Do you draw people from throughout the state or even Wisconsin, or how does that work?
I think we're pretty local
Okay.
around here.
Yes, we're mainly the Twin Cities. We do have people throughout Minnesota though, and a small number I think in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Well, I know we had a couple on the Mille Lacs trip from Montgomery, and
Okay.
Albert or St. Michael is another spot. So
No.
pretty much around the area.
Do you see an issue with outreach to trying to attract more people from outstate, or
No,
is that just not the goal?
no, we have a goal. We will be very happy to serve anyone pretty much within Minnesota is our main focus, I would say, at this time. And we do have a few people up around the Appleton area,
Okay.
Okay.
I think, to take advantage of a deer hunt at Lac La Paro mainly. There's some ice fishing out there they do too, I believe. Isn't that correct, Terry?
Yeah.
And
So,
we,
so it's kind of regional, maybe then? You get people from that region that are more interested, I suppose?
Pretty much.
'Cause
And,
it's easier for travel and
A
whatnot?
lot of it is transportation.
Yeah.
And we don't provide that.
Right.
Somebody will call, and I know I picked Mike up a few times on different stuff, so we kind of depend on each other for that. But if you get too far away, the Metro Mobility doesn't go that far
Yeah.
and that stuff. So
You also can't really transport weapons on Metro Mobility for hunting or so forth.
Yeah, probably. The drivers aren't too comfortable with that,
No.
I'm sure.
I really don't blame them. I mean, I can perfectly understand their reasoning behind that.
Oh, yeah.
So, for yourself, so you go on a hunt, and let's say it's not in Metro Mobility's area. How you have to arrange your own transportation, I take it there.
Sometimes my wife is kind enough to give me a lift.
Okay.
There
Well,
and back.
he's offered to drive once or twice, but she gets pretty upset.
And then I'm assuming that's the same with the fishing. If it's
Yes.
not within Metro Mobility's range, you're responsible then for getting your own transportation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, we've got you get to be good friends with different people, and most of them are not afraid to ask for a ride, and the rest of us are not afraid to offer a ride, if it's at all possible. So,
Yeah, we're trying to work on a database of people who may offer transportation, but then you have to break it down by event, and it gets a little tricky.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So another question that I have for you folks. So I want to go on one of the fishing expeditions, and if I need assistance beyond what you provide for fishing and stuff, am I responsible for bringing someone with to be to provide that assistance?
you can do that. Yep. We have a number of couples that are able-bodied and disabled, and they come in. My sister and brother-in-law and 2 nephews have gotten very involved, helping out with other stuff and then fishing with me and that. So
if I want to go hunting and I don't own any firearms of any kind, do you folks provide the equipment to do the hunting or the fishing?
We do not provide firearms and so forth for hunting. Generally, you may be good enough friends with a member to borrow a firearm. Fishing, I know they provide all the equipment you need at the trout fishing event at Lanesboro, and Terry, you can speak to
the
other-
launches have everything on there that you need. And when I did the Minnetonka one, a couple of people didn't have, and I've got a garage full of fishing gear. So I said, I'll bring you a couple of rods and reels and that stuff. So we can sort of provide that, but the club doesn't have a lot of that. We had some equipment years ago, and you never knew where it was. And people would borrow it and then forget to return it. And you try to track it down, and it just got to be too much. So
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the main issue too with hunting is it takes a lot of familiarity with a firearm to both be safe and to shoot accurately.
Sure.
Yes.
So that is why we will probably never provide firearms for people
So,
to use hunting.
If I go on, for example, a hunt with you, am I expected to have some kind of previous firearm training, or for safety reasons and stuff?
Minnesota state law requires firearm safety for people born after a certain year. I don't know the year offhand, however, we would strongly advise people to take a firearm safety class just to make certain they know what they are doing and they can handle whatever they're using, be it a firearm or a bow, safely.
Well, when Paul was born, they were still using flintlocks, so.
Well then, I'm sorry I can't help you much with flintlock safety.
don't they have sight-in
Yes,
fence then too?
we do have sight-ins for all big game hunts where we have members qualify with something like 3 shots in an 8-inch circle, I believe,
Okay.
at 50 or 100 yards. And we also, with new members, will assess their safety, how safely they handle a firearm at those events. Safety is our first priority when we hunt or fish.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, none of us need to come out of one of these worse than we went in.
No,
No,
there
no, for sure.
there are definite,
Sure.
definite edges there. In the hunts, Mike, what's the best thing you've got?
10-point buck.
Nice.
Nice.
That was 2 years ago when it snowed in October, and we went on a special hunt then, and Saturday was a day right between two weather systems, and we went out about 2 o'clock, and shortly thereafter, a 10-point buck showed up, and he didn't leave.
So it's like you had a nice target on him. Not that you saw it, but
I thank God my hunting partner
was able to.
got him, and
So now, when doing that, the partner will, you'll actually handle the gun and sight and all that. He'll just say, go to your left, go to your right, or how does that work for him?
he will actually adjust the gun somewhat.
Okay.
It gets to be a very fine tuning process to give verbal directions,
Okay.
and then he'll tell me when to fire.
Okay. So,
Go ahead.
Did they use the laser thing at one point?
We tried that, but lasers, I have never found one that works well in daylight.
Okay.
but they help you physically sight the gun
Correct.
and then
You
advise you when
actually
it's best
take the
to
shot.
fire.
Yes, I take the shot.
Okay.
So how do you do any duck hunting then?
I've done plenty of duck hunting, the same thing. They move the gun around, tell me when to fire. I've pheasant hunted and expect to again next year.
Okay. So how to I would like to, just my understanding, have you had anybody in a wheelchair do the pheasant hunt?
Absolutely.
And so my idea of pheasant hunting is you walk up and down rows of corn, you have a dog out in front of you, and they're trying to they scare the pheasants up. So how does that work for you folks?
Well, we do more pheasant shoots where you can have someone in a wheelchair in a specific location, or any hunter for that matter, and they will throw so many birds off of a tower, and you shoot at them. The tower and everything is pretty much out of range of anybody shooting, I believe, and well, believe it or not, it is not anywhere near 100% lethal for the pheasants.
And now how about fishing? What's the biggest fish you've caught with the group?
With the group, probably 23 inches. My biggest walleye is 28 and a half. I got 2 of those, and I'm shooting for a 30-incher.
Okay.
And my biggest northern was 44 inches, and that was on a
No, on the
private trip
walleyes,
up to Canada.
the
Okay.
walleyes that size, though, you can't keep them any longer. Or can you
On
keep
Mille
a
Lacs,
game?
it's between 21 and 23 inches. You can keep one.
Okay.
Got one this year.
Okay.
We were
Yes.
able to.
Yes.
And we had some, we must have been able to keep 5 or 6 in the last trip I was on. One guy came out and signed up on the ship, gave me his dues and his application, and ended up catching the biggest fish.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay. So, I should explain to our audience that if anybody recognizes Terry, it's because he was in a Minnesota lottery commercial.
yes, yeah,
Is that you sitting out on the dock?
it is, yes. Yeah.
Was that by chance Fish Lake up in Maple Grove?
No, it was down south in Lakeville someplace.
Oh, okay.
I can't think of the name of it now, but they didn't necessarily wanted to see my front side, so they got the back. I brought bait and everything with me, and I offered to hook up and that, but they didn't want me to catch a fish. I was just supposed to sit there.
Well, you did a great job.
That was it. Yeah, that was pretty fun. It was very interesting to watch all the setup and everything. Yet when I first got there was a guy that had blocked out a certain area of the parking lot, and he wanted the truck here and another truck there, and I could park over here. And then he was leaving because their next shot was at the zoo, Minnesota Zoo.
Okay.
So he had to go and lay out the stuff there. And then I didn't have to go through makeup, but they did put tape over the quickie sign on the back of my chair.
Of course.
Okay.
And so they couldn't have anything showing like that. But,
No free advertising.
no, but it was pretty interesting. I mean, it was worth the time
Cool.
to go and do it. So,
But do you play the lottery?
no, only once or twice have I ever done anything like that. So,
So the irony there is pretty rich.
right, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Well, somebody had called a friend of mine and said, "We're looking for somebody in a chair that fishes." And he said, "I know, just the person." So now, have you had Margot Imdick or Margot Cross on the show before?
We have not, but looking forward to it.
So my new travel, my my talent agent is Margot's cousin. So it just, everything intertwined somewhere or another, and that was pretty interesting.
I think, we're starting to run a little short on time. So one of the questions I have, if I'm interested in signing up as a participant, what's all involved?
Well,
We
you
have
go
a-
to,
Yeah, you can go to the website and sign up there, or find one of us we have a magazine, it's called The Partner, comes out with all of our events on it, and a schedule, and an application on the back page. It's $25 a year. And the only other, I don't know if is there a fee on the pheasants or the turkeys?
I don't believe there is at this time.
Okay. Usually on the launch, we kick in $10 a piece.
Okay.
And 5 goes to the captain, and then 5 goes in a jackpot for the biggest fish.
Okay.
So, and then, of course, all the license fees and everything is up to the participant.
Yes.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
We do offer assistance for people if they have financial hardships.
Okay. And for what I understand, the last few years, there's been not a lot of deer licenses issued. Am I correct there? Or doe licenses?
Well, that really depends on the zone you're in.
Okay.
For example, down at Dakota County Vermilion, you have no trouble at all getting a license to take more than one deer, and
Okay.
you can take only one buck, but a couple of does. And if you have what's called a shoot from a motor vehicle permit, which you can get under some fairly specific restrictions, you may take either a doe or a buck, usually with your standard deer license.
So a shoot from a motor vehicle, I'm sorry, to me that sounds kind of redneck.
It has to be, it has to be stopped.
It has to be standing
Okay.
still. You can't be driving and shoot.
Okay.
And it is something you have to get with a doctor's signature. It isn't like down south where supposedly you can shoot animals out of the bed of a moving pickup with a beer in your other hand. We
Exactly.
strongly discourage drinking while one hunts, and we do not allow people to shoot out of moving vehicles.
And all the hunts, all the gun hunts are with long barrel vehicles or weapons, correct?
Correct. We do not.
You're not allowed to use a pistol or,
No.
okay.
We don't allow the use of handguns on any hunt. They are legal for certain handguns are legal for taking deer, but we do not allow people to use handguns
Okay.
at this time.
Well, gentlemen, we do have to wrap it up. I want to thank Mike Hanson and Terry Hanson, again, no relation.
Yep.
And Mike, we look forward to having you back to talk about a little trip you took a number of years ago down the Appalachian Trail.
I took a little walk, and people still want to hear about it, I guess.
Well, our audience hasn't heard, so we got to let them know.
Sounds good.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Right.
Thank
You've been
you.
watching Disability Landscape. We'll see y'all next time.